Hello, my name is Laura, and today we're going to help you with your text neck. The text neck is a dreaded modern day woe that many of us experience. And it happens because we move our head forward and down to look at our devices. And so the skull moves forward. All these muscles in the back of the neck are like horses' reins. They're like, whoa, don't move forward. They really tighten up. So we get this tightness around the neck and then some weakness in the upper back with the rounded shoulders. So we're going to do a little sequence here to help remedy that and help align the skull right over the spine. You'll need a yoga block or two. They're really helpful. If you don't have one, you could always use a really firm cushion. But these are kind of the perfect size and texture for making some big changes. So we're going to use the block and lie on it like a little pillow. And your feet are on the floor and your knees are bent. And so you want to feel your skull on the block so that you can lower your chin. And just nod like that a few times. Even doing this motion will start to free up that really tight area at the bottom of the skull. And then just lower the chin and slide your butt away just enough that your very edge of the skull is still on the block. So this is like a traction. In physical therapy, we will help people with this. They're tractioning devices, but this is a great one. You just stay on the block. You can even have your hands there and shimmy away and then start to stretch in the neck again, making it nice and long. You want to lower your chin, bring your hands on your front ribs so you're not arching at all to try and substitute. And then just rock your head side to side, just like you were coaxing those reins I was talking about, those neck muscles, to just free up a little bit. And this is a great thing to do every day. All right, we're going to stop rocking and just keep the chin down and keep your hands on your front ribs. Now lift into a very low bridge. So if you feel any pressure on your knees, walk your feet farther away. We want to keep the rib cage steady and not pushing up toward the ceiling. And then lower the hips. Press and lift. So why would this be helpful? Well, all these different movement patterns will help the neck. So when we learn to move from the hips and not substitute with the ribs or spine, we're going to actually help the shoulders and neck. And it also strengthens your glutes, which are really important for moving, but also for stabilizing the pelvis. In an upright position when we're standing, we want that stability because that helps our posture, including all the way up to the top of the head. So let's do this a few more times, waking up the glutes, holding the ribs steady, and keeping the chin just lightly dropping toward your throat without clogging anything. So we're getting a little stretch through the back of the neck. And then this last time, we'll hold this up here. We're going to bring the arms out to the side, bend your elbows. Your fingers are pointing up to the ceiling, and you can start to bring your hands down like a goalpost or a cactus position, but I'm letting my hands float off the floor. I'm trying to open up the chest wall. If that doesn't feel good, you can just keep your hands up and still get a nice chest stretch, but we'll just do this movement a few times up and down, and we want to feel the shoulder blades stay on the back, on the floor. They're on the back, and we want to keep the hips up as we're keeping this head in this alignment. Last time like that. So we want to open up the chest wall to help the neck as well. And then we'll lower. Now we're going to bring the left hand out to the side and use our deep abdominals for this next movement. And this is going to help the neck as well. The deep abdominals really go from the bottom of the pubic bone and they come all the way up to the bottom of the ribs. But we can consider if we keep tracing that all the way to the throat notch and inside the throat, these deep cervical flexors are weakened by our text neck. So we're kind of strengthening them in a way by strengthening the whole core chain. So we're going to inhale here. As you exhale, just bring your hands on your front ribs and hold them steady and bring the left knee over the left hip and just feel how your body responds. You don't want to lift your chin, train your chin to stay down. And then lower the left foot. So we're just going to do this side. Inhale. Exhale, we'll hold the front ribs and lift the left knee over the left hip, holding the neck in alignment. and then slowly lower. Inhale. As you exhale, firm the hand into the front ribs. Bring the left knee over the hip. Now hold it there and maybe straighten the right leg without letting your front ribs pop at all and without letting your chin lift. We'll lower the right foot and then we'll lower the left foot. So you should feel some tone in the abdominals. Exhale, lift the left knee over the hip, straighten the right leg. Hold there, and that right leg is up at about 60 degrees. We'll lower the right foot, lower the left. You can stay with this, or we can add one more element. Exhale, lift the left knee over the hip. We'll straighten the right leg, and then we're just going to lift the head up and keep the chin as it is, not lifting the chin up to the ceiling, and then we'll lower the head back onto the block with the chin in the same position, lower the right foot, lower the left foot. One more like that. Exhale, lift the left knee, straighten the right leg, hold these front ribs steady, float the head up, so I'm pushing into the left hand a little bit, and then lower the head on the block, lower the right foot, lower the left. Now let's bring the right hand out to the side, and we'll do the same thing here. Left hand on your front ribs. Inhale. Exhale, bring the right knee up. Hold the chin in position. Lower the right foot. Exhale. Right knee over the hip. Now let's add that straighten of the left leg. Hold. Keep the foot on the floor if you find your ribs popping up. We really want to hold the abdominals. Lower the left, lower the right. Exhale. Lift the right knee over the hip. Straighten the left leg. Hold the front ribs. Again, the chin is toward the throat. Lower the left foot, lower the right, and inhale. Exhale, those front ribs stay firmed in. Right knee over the hip, straighten the left leg, and now we'll float the head up, pressing the right hand into the floor, slowly lowering the head back to the block, lower the left foot, lower the right foot. Exhale, right knee over the hip, straighten the left leg, float the head up, hold there, feel those abdominals working. Lower the head, lower the left foot, lower the right foot. And then once again, just rock side to side. And notice if it just feels a little freer with your head rocking side to side. Okay, we're going to come on to our left. I'm going to actually mirror you. So your right forearm is down. You're going to make a fist and bring your knees way in here. We're going to take your left hand behind your head, move your head into your hand, and the chin is growing to the throat, but not aggressively. Now we're going to move the chest to that bottom arm and then come back through center and move the chest away from the bottom arm, but don't let this bottom shoulder drop. So the breath is inhale, exhale, we move toward the bottom arm. Inhale, we come back through center, and exhale, we move away from the bottom arm, just a little bit. And we're keeping the head pressing into our hand as we're moving here. So moving the thoracic spine, this is called, as we free up that neck and open up toward the ceiling. One more time. And turning, and we're holding those abdominals nice and toned so the ribs don't move forward, and turn toward the top there. Now we're going to turn toward this bottom arm and bring this top hand to the floor. And then just let the head be heavy here and rock it a little bit. So that helps open up some of that back shoulder, upper back tissue and frees up the neck. And then we'll switch sides. So now your left hip is down, your left forearm is down, the knees are really pulled in, and then bring that right hand behind your head, move your head back without lifting the chin. And let's begin. Exhale, we'll turn toward that bottom arm. Inhale through center and turn toward the top. This does not have to be a big movement. In fact, it's better to be really small and crisp. So we're not moving the ribs forward and back. We're just turning in the spine, opening up the chest tissue. Exhale, turn. And this top hand stays really steady. The head continues to push a little bit into it. One more time. And turn toward the bottom. And then turning toward the top. And then we'll turn to the bottom and bring that right hand to the floor. Let the head release and just rock it. As you kind of push the floor away to broaden the back. Now let's come around on all fours. And you can use blocks or not, depending on what it feels like for you. I'll show you without the blocks. Walk your knees in so they're about 6 to 8 inches away from your hands. So it's really a tight quadruped, we call it. And then just see how easy or hard it is to keep your head above your shoulders. For people that have that forward head and rounded position, usually their head is way down here. So we want to move and try and realign that. So we're just going to let the whole front body sink toward the floor without the elbows bending. And you can let the head come down. It's in this forward head position. And then we're going to pull everything up and lift the front of the throat up to support the neck in a lengthened position. So the whole front body releases down without the elbows bending. And then we pull everything up. So remember what I was saying about these deep cervical flexors are part of the abdominals in a way. So we feel that here. We release everything and then we pull it back into alignment. These are like chin tucks, but we're doing them off the floor. Lift up. One more time, we'll soften everything and then we'll lift up. Now we're going to keep the right hand down and bring the left hand on the forehead. The palm is facing the floor. And we want to feel that back of the neck is long, not lifting in the chin. Now press into the floor. We'll do like what we just did in that side sitting. You're going to turn your chest to the left. The head is just being carried and then come back. And turn the chest to the left. Pushing into the right hand, not letting that right elbow rock forward, but I'm pushing the ground away. One more time. Push into that right hand. We're going to stay here. Straighten the left arm to whatever degree you can, or you can keep it bent. And then release the neck toward the floor. The head, releasing in the neck. This is going to be really nice for the side of the neck. And with that arm straight, you're opening up in the chest. And then we're going to bring the left hand back to the floor. And bring the right hand under the forehead. Lift up. So again, you're not sinking this left elbow forward, but pushing the floor away. Exhale, we'll rotate to the right. And come back to center. Rotate to the right. Keep that back really broad, using those abdominals in front to support. Last time, we'll turn to the right. We'll stay here. You can pick the hand off the forehead with the elbow bent. You can try and straighten, and then release the left ear to the left shoulder, and breathe into that right neck. And coming down from there. Last thing we'll do is some strengthening for the upper back. This is really important because the upper back is going to hold the shoulders in position and make it easier for that head to stay aligned. And this is an area a lot of people are quite weak in. So we're going to bring, if you don't have blocks, I'll show you, you're going to bring your elbows in that goal pose position, that cactus-like position. And then your head is the forehead's going to be on the ground. And then you'll just lift the forehead up from there, keeping the same position. So the front of the throat is helping me lift. I'm going to really lift the abdominals away from the floor, but keep the pubic bone down. And then I'm going to just try and press into the floor and lift the elbows up. My head is still just neutral here, and then I'll lower. And if you can't get up all the way, just get up as much as you can. So we'll press the hands into the floor and lift a little bit. I'm using my abdominals to lift and lower. One more time, just keep the head in this position. The sides of the neck are long, and lift and lower. And then bring the elbows a little bit down toward your waist. And they're a little bit in line with the shoulders or a little bit underneath the shoulders. And then we're going to lift the arms up like a goalpost, but the head stays in the same position. We're trying to lift and feel the scapula pull down toward the floor. So they're pulling onto the back and then lower. Keep the head in the same alignment and lift the arms. The abdominals are working so you're not tipping your pelvis. Your tailbone is reaching toward your heels and lower. And lift. If it feels like you can try it, straighten the elbows. Rebend the elbows and lower. And lift. Head stays in the same alignment. Reach the arms. Bend the elbows and then lower. Now come on to In the seated position. You can sit on a block, you can sit on a chair, but we're just going to practice sitting upright. The chest is open, the chin is just dropped down, and we're moving the head back in space. We're going to bring our hands onto the sternum, which is the center of the chest, and pull down toward the floor, and then release the right ear toward the right shoulder. Release the chin toward the throat. Breathe. Then you're just going to rock your head toward this bottom shoulder. Just rock it a little bit. So you're just coaxing those muscles to free up a little bit, but you're keeping the chin down, not jutting it. And then we'll bring it to stillness and then just lift the head back to the starting position. Let's try the other side. So pulling down, but you're sitting tall in your spine, and releasing the left ear to the left shoulder. Keep pulling down and lower the chin without being aggressive here. And then we'll do that same little rock toward that bottom shoulder. Let the breath out. So we're working with our body to coax these muscles of the neck that are too tight to release their hold a little bit. And then we'll upright. And just notice how you feel. If you're a little bit more lifted, more held together in the core, chest open, and that head in better position. So we've got to keep coming back to this because life is pulling us in the other direction. I want you to continue practicing with us, so check out more on our online platform.